What is up, YouTube? We are here, we are live, and we're going to get right into it. So, power rankings this week. A lot has changed. Week 6 was very crazy indeed. And at the very bottom of the list, I think it's only fair to have the Detroit Lions, who are still winless. And next, we have the New York Jets. No surprise there. Next is the Atlanta Falcons. They beat the Jets. That's it, right? And the Giants, they can only beat the 2 New Jersey teams. Okay, next we have the Miami Dolphins. Now, they opened up Mac Jones' first ever game, and they are on a 5-game losing streak, including the fresh buzzer beater loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who found their first win. Next, I have the New York Giants. I still think we're a good team, but we will be without Andrew Thomas for the next 3 weeks. I don't know how much longer we're going to be without Saquon. We obviously lost Blake Martinez for the year. I don't know when Galladay's coming back, but I don't know the specific of Tony's injury. I don't know if Slayton's coming back. We're banged up, and this is no news. I don't think the Giants have played at 100% one time this year. I think the closest we were to being healthy was the game Evan Ingram came back, and Evan Ingram played like garbage, and I think that's the week that we lost Slayton and Shepard. So we've never played a full game front to back at 100%. Also, those first few weeks we weren't using Kadarius Toney at all. Now without Andrew Thomas, and I don't know if the New York Giants will ever be able to play healthy and see what this team can actually look like. So next I have the New England Patriots, who haven't really been able to do anything this season. Next I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. If the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Patriots were to play a game right now, I think the winner would be whoever was home, especially if the game was in London. So with that being said, next I have the Philadelphia Eagles, who it looks like their offense can produce, but their defense absolutely cannot. So that's where they're at right now. Justin Fields is, I don't know what Justin Fields is. They just lost to the Packers, but that's not anything new. The Bears are they 3-3 or are they 2-4 now? Let me pull this up. I thought I already had this queued up, so excuse me for the lag here. Yeah, the Bears are 3-3, so little surprising there. Who have they played this season? They beat the Lions. They beat the Raiders, which is insane. They lost to the Packers. They lost to the Browns. They squeaked out a win against the Bengals, and they lost to the Rams. So the Bears are kind of impressive. We lost to the Rams, a victory over the Bengals, a loss to the Browns. So the Browns and the Rams, they're two of the best teams. They beat the Bengals, who are pretty darn good. The Raiders are pretty darn good. The Lions, who we have as the worst team, and the Packers, who is kind of like their kryptonite. So with that being said, we're gonna look into the future here. The Bears actually play the Bucks this week. we'll see what the Bears can do because, like I said, they've beaten some good teams and they've lost to great teams. Um, hate to say the Bears are not that bad. 3-3, they're in the middle of the pack like they should be. So maybe I have them rated a little low, but it's hard to tell because we're going off of Justin Fields and they started with Dalton, and it's just a little stuff is to be foreseen there in Chicago. Next, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Gino played okay, I guess. Back to back weeks, he cost the game up at the end. Um, Next, I have the Steelers. They just beat the Seahawks. Um, I think that does not happen if Russ plays, seeing how it obviously went in overtime. Next, I have the Washington football team. They should be getting Ryan Fitzpatrick back this week. And if I believe they should make him the quarterback, he is the starter. Um, he didn't even really get to play this season at all. He went down, I think, in the first drive of the season. So we didn't get to see Ryan Fitzpatrick at all. Um, Next, I have the Denver Broncos. Started off 3-0, now they're 0-3. Um, they kind of have a really good team on paper, but it's hard to justify where they belong right now. So next, I have the Cleveland Browns. They're only rated this low because they play the Broncos on Thursday, and Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt are already out, and Baker Mayfield is questionable. So we'll see what happens there. They also said that Baker does not play good without his running back weapons. Um, and I believe they're also a 3-3 team. So this is a really interesting Thursday night game, and I believe Denver's also home to make matters worse. So I kind of like where I have them. Next, I have the San Francisco 49ers, still without George Kittle, still without Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo might be coming back this week. I haven't looked into it. But nonetheless, the 49ers have been kind of an underwhelming team so far this year. The Carolina Panthers are going to be missing Christian McCaffrey for another 3 weeks. Sam Darnold does not seem to be playing as good without him to rely on. They just lost a game to the Eagles and the Vikings. They're not looking pretty good. Next, I have the Houston Texans. Tyrod Taylor should be coming back this weekend, and I believe in Tyrod a lot. Um, they started off the season with a impressive win against the Jags. I mean, I know the Jags didn't just win till last weekend, but they went into week 2 almost beating the Browns until Tyrod went down. Um, and I just think Tyrod's got the ability to make that team look really good. Next, I have the Saints, and I believe Michael Thomas is making his NFL debut, which should spark life into Alvin Kamara and give Jameis Winston not just another good wide receiver, but a great wide receiver to work with. And I should have them rated higher than this, but they haven't proven anything yet. So we got to see them take the field. Next, we have the Indianapolis Colts. They just got a division win against the Texans, even though, once again, is their backup quarterback. He has been basically awful, except they almost beat the Patriots that game. Um, Wentz is getting back to 100% health. T.Y. Hilton's getting back to 100% health, and we'll really see what they can do. Next, I have the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings seem to just lose or just win all their games this year. So I literally have them exactly in the middle of the pack because I don't really know what the Vikings are. They can stay in with anybody and they haven't gotten blown out. They haven't blown out anybody. So it's really not that impressive. They have Jefferson and Thielen and Cook and Cousins, and they need to be able to put more points on the board than what they've been doing. Next, I have the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders just remained a top-tier team in the NFL by beating the Broncos in their division convincingly. They did lose to the Bears, which was a severe head-scratcher for me. Actually cost me my survivor pool, if you guys remember me talking about that. That was the same week that George Kittle was announced out, and I wanted to change my pick to the Cardinals, and I didn't do it. Silly me. And I don't know. Raiders are looking good. They obviously took a step back, though. I mean, I had them a lot higher earlier in the year, and now they're down here in the middle of the pack. Next, I have the Cincinnati Bengals, who look kind of impressive. I believe they have a head-to-head with the Ravens this week, so I'll be rooting for the Bengals, honestly. I don't know if they'll actually pull it off or not, but go Bengals. Next, I have the Packers, who they just went toe-to-toe with in overtime, and the Packers pulled out the victory here. Next, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are very underwhelming compared to what we all know them and love them to be. Next, I have the Los Angeles Chargers, who obviously beat the Chiefs this year, but just got brought back down to earth by the Baltimore Ravens. Next, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the way I have the tiers set up now, the Bucs are the 7th best team in the NFL at the top of my 3rd tier. I made the top 2 tiers way more prestigious now this week. And the bottom team of tier 2 is the Dallas Cowboys. The 2 teams that fall right before the Dallas Cowboys are the Los Angeles Chargers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys beat the Chargers in a game I feel they should have lost, and they also lost to the Buccaneers in a game they easily could have won. Cowboys played a decimated New York Giants team. They played the Patriots, and they almost lost. And the Patriots we have as a bottom-tier team. So their offense is so powerful, and they are so dynamic. Trayvon Diggs, far and wide the defensive player of the year so far. It would be completely wrong to not put them where I have them. They're 5-1 team. The Baltimore Ravens are next. I was going to put them above the Bills, but they just lost another offensive lineman. And boy, are the Baltimore Ravens hurt. We're going to see if they can continue to overcome everything that they've overcome so far this season and keep being dominant. Like I said, this weekend they are, I believe, in a division game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And if the Bengals win, Cincinnati Bengals, the team that everybody thought would finish in last place of that division, will go into week 8 in the lead. With that being said, next is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills we had in the number one spot last week, and they choked on Monday night. King Henry did what he has done all season long. He ran for about 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Henry has ran closer to 150 than 100 yards all season long, except for week 1 when he only got like 60 something against the Cardinals. And I believe he might have also had 3 touchdowns in that game, which is very weird. Derrick Henry is by far on pace to shatter every single running back record, and that would be, I think, in a 16-game season. Forget the extra game this year. He's gonna destroy everything. He should be the MVP so far, without a doubt. And before we get ahead of ourselves there, the top team of tier number 2 is the Los Angeles Rams. They're still the team to beat, almost. I know it's not that impressive of a win, but in the NFL, when you beat a team by 27 points, it's impressive. Our Giants, we looked helpless. We've been helpless for 5 years. It sucks. But tier 1, I got 2 teams. You can call this the Super Bowl. Only time will tell. The Tennessee Titans, who beat the Bills in Monday Night Football once they had their full team. Yes, they lost to the Jets without A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. They lost one other game this season. I'm trying to remember what it was. Let's check. Titans schedule. Oh, duh. I just talked about it. They lost week 1 to the Cardinals. And they only scored 13 points in that game. So Derrick Henry did not definitely have 3 touchdowns there. So when you beat the team that was seeded 1 last week, or seeded 2, I don't even remember where we had them, and your only real loss is to the only undefeated team in the NFL, you're truly number 2. If they're going to play like that every week, nobody should be able to get in their way. They prevented the Buffalo Bills' high-powered offense from getting into the end zone. In the first 2 drives, they had to settle for field goals. And then in the game-winning drive, instead of tying the game and going into overtime, they completely stuffed the Bills on a 4th and inch. Not inches, it was 4th and inch. Probably the shortest distance play I've ever seen in my life needed for a first down. They were able to stuff Josh Allen completely and win the game. Completely impressive. So obviously, number 1, the 6-0 Cardinals, who have already beaten the Titans this year. Does that mean this year's Super Bowl is the Cardinals over the Titans? Who knows? We have a lot of season left to go, and anything can happen. Teams can get healthier, teams can get weaker. Some teams can catch steam, some teams can die out. But as it looks right now, the Arizona Cardinals are 6-0. They've gotten division wins. They've beaten the best team in the AFC. There's a lot of good things going the Cardinals' way, and the Cardinals are legit. And what's up, Angel? Freaking At least you know the Cardinals are making it, man. You're a Chiefs fan, so you got to think it's the Chiefs. I wish it could be Chiefs Giants. We will get to see Chiefs Giants. I think in week 8 or week 9 on Monday night, and if the Giants can somehow find out a way to be healthy, Mahomes ain't playing that good this year. So I don't know. We'll see. Probably no chance in hell. But yes, the Cardinals and the Titans reign supreme right now in the NFL, and we will see how it goes in the future weeks. Now, to get to week 17's picks, the Cleveland Browns host the Broncos. I said earlier that I thought the Broncos were home. That is not true. Um, so I like the Browns to win this game. They're actually the favorite by 3.5 points, which is a little surprising to me, considering Chubb and Hunt are out. But the Browns' defense against the Broncos' offense should reign supreme. The New York Giants versus the Carolina Panthers. In the last few weeks, Giants fans have picked against the Giants. We shouldn't have beat the Saints, but we did. I think we could have beat the Cowboys if we weren't missing our 7 best players. Like seriously, how the hell can you play football? And nobody in the world thought we were going to beat the Rams, and that's exactly what happened. We didn't beat the Rams. This week, home against the Panthers. The Panthers have taken a big dive. I think we have a lot to play for, and I'm picking the Giants to try to cling on to some kind of hope for our season. Joe Judge came out and said he promises the season will turn around, and we'll see if that's true. Giants fans, if we do want to have a little bit of hope here, we need the win against the Panthers. And you look down the line, we do get to play the Washington football team again. We get to play the Eagles twice. And if you're like me and you think that if we're 100% healthy, we could beat the Cowboys, we do play the Cowboys again. That's 5 wins right there. Get us up to 500. Then we got the game against the Raiders, which looks winnable. We got the games against the Bucks and the Chiefs, which anything can happen there. We end up playing the Cardinals. We've never beaten the Cardinals. Daniel Jones has never beaten Kyler Murray, even though they played each other every single year, which is crazy how that works. And that could be a trap game for the Cardinals. You never know what can happen any given Sunday in the NFL. And other than that, I don't remember what the rest of our games look like. Giants could easily be 3-3 right now if we got the win against Atlanta and Washington like we should have. So I truly, truly believe this is a winnable game against the Panthers. We play the Dolphins, who are really booty. We play the Chargers, who were great until they got completely decimated by the Ravens. I mean, our defense probably won't be able to stop them, but we also play the Bears, which, like I said, have unfortunately looked like a decent team so far this year. Beating the Bears would mean everything because making them a worse team gives them a worse draft pick, which is our draft pick. So, I don't know, guys, the way things are looking, we would be lucky to be 8-9. And I don't think that's good enough for a wild card spot. Definitely not good enough for the division, seeing how the Cowboys already have 5 wins and Dak didn't get hurt. Next is the Dolphins hosting the Falcons. Based on our chart, this is the Dolphins' game to win. They're actually the underdog. which could be an interesting bet to make on Sunday. Um, I think the Dolphins' defense is way too good for the Falcons to handle because the Falcons are really booty for a reason. So then the Washington football team at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers should win unless the Washington football team finds the defense they had last year, which is obviously a kryptonite for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, as they got 2-0'd and eliminated by Tampa Bay last year. Cincinnati Bengals are at the Baltimore Ravens. I would like to think the Ravens are going to win, but as we said earlier, we're rooting for the Bengals. Go Cincinnati. The New York Jets at the New England Patriots. The Patriots can pad another win to their season because it's the Jets. What a game we have here, and it's at the 1 o'clock window. Kansas City Chiefs at the Tennessee Titans. Woo-wee. I believe the Chiefs played the Titans in back-to-back playoffs. I don't remember if the Chiefs played the Titans in the playoffs last year. But with the Chiefs being the AFC favorite and the Tennessee Titans being the current power number 1 AFC team, this is the game to watch. Holy camole at 1 o'clock. Then we have the Lions at the Rams. The Rams are a minus 15-point favorite right now. That is disgusting. Then the Eagles at the Raiders. The Raiders are home, favorited only by 3. It's a game that they should win, but this could also be another game where, they lost to the Bears. The Arizona Cardinals are a 17.5-point favorite against the Houston Texans. I am going to take the Houston Texans, not to win the game, but to cover that spread if Tyrod Taylor comes back. If Tyrod Taylor doesn't come back, then the Cardinals probably win by 30. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are giving 13 to the Bears. Now, like we said earlier, it would be cool to see if the Bears have any kind of shot at winning this game based on the opponents they've played this year. Then the Sunday night game. Week 7, we still can't flex out games. Back-to-back weeks. We just had to suffer through Geno versus Big Ben. It's the Colts at the 49ers. And the 49ers are a 4-point favorite. This might just because they're at home. I definitely like the Colts to cover that. Maybe the Colts win the game here. The Colts have been playing teams really good, and they just came off a division win. If the 49ers are still without Garoppolo and Kittle, I don't see how they beat the Colts. And if they are getting Garoppolo back, they're still without Kittle. The Colts have a really good defense. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Then the New Orleans Saints at the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night. Back-to-back primetime games for Geno Smith. Boy, oh boy, the NFL gods have not been nice. If Michael Thomas comes back, the Saints are actually a 5-point favorite right now. I would take it. Jameis Winston slings that ball down the field. Michael Thomas and their 2 newer prominent wide receivers for this season hopefully spark some life into Alvin Kamara, who is one of the absolute best running backs ever. But guys, that's the picks. That's our power rankings for this week. If you watch this, I hope you enjoy. If you made it this far to the very end of the video, please subscribe, like, comment, share. But we're approaching the 30-minute mark. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I love everybody that loves me. Until next time, forever the reality. Peace.